Peace, peace, people. Welcome to Yemima's World, the Jelly Moose's Cafe. I am your hostess, Yemima. It's good to be back in the land of the living once again. The music that you heard at the beginning, I do not own the rights to. It is Native American music, and it is called Dreamcatcher. And it's from the Lakota Nation of the indigenous First People. The picture that you see there is from um, a foundation called the Indigenous Foundation.org. This is a picture that they have. I do not own the rights to the picture. So we are still in the middle, in the middle of Indigenous Heritage Month, and I still want to honor as much as I can uh, the indigenous people, the first people here in North America. And one of the things I wanted to talk about tonight was something that we all see, much like the cowrie shells that are in African American culture that we know are sacred to us. We see the cowrie shell used by pretty much everyone. Everyone has worn cowrie shells with in their jewelry. A lot of black women wear them in their hair. A lot of white women, when they get braids, they put cowrie shells in them. And the cowrie shells are pretty sacred to indigenous and to diasporic Africans in this country, American born Africans. They are or they should be sacred. Unfortunately, they have become a commercialized item that are sold as trinkets. And much like the cowrie shells, the dream catchers have become the same thing. They have been commercialized and they are sold as trinkets. If you look at the picture on the front, you see that the woman is wearing the dream catchers as earrings. Now, she is Native American, and so she can pretty much wear them the way she wants to wear them. But again, dream catchers have become commercialized. You can buy them in the dollar store. You can buy things to make them on your own, which I suggest if you are indigenous to buy the material or to find the material and to make them on your own. So, what are dream catchers? Well, let's talk about what they are because we see them and we say, oh, they're to catch dreams. But let's get into a little bit more about what they are and why they are sacred to the first people of this nation. I'm going to read two stories or two things tonight that has information regarding the indigenous people. All right, so the first one is from, um, pull this off of the internet, of course. This is called Dreamcatchers and the Spider Goddess, and it is written by Nina Niskanen. Okay, and this was written last year. Um, there are no like specific times of the year to honor or to wear dream catchers. It's kind of like it's a part of First People's spirituality. All right, so let's get into it. Dream catchers are iconic. They're well-known symbols within the Native American culture. The tradition of dream catchers originates from the Ojibwe tribe. For the Ojibwe, the dream catcher symbolizes natural wisdom. Is the name of the tribe in Canada. The Ojibwe is. And the name of the American tribe is Chippewa. Ojibwe reside in southern Canada and Ontario and in the states of Michigan and Wisconsin. Dream catchers were originally made of twigs of the willow tree. The twigs were gathered fresh and they were pulled into a spiral or a circle. And as I just mentioned, it's good if you can gather the things that you know from out nature and make your own dream catchers. I think that's really cool. The web was made of the thread stalk of stinging nettle. So that is I guess, a type of herb or plant, stinging nettle. Ojibways decorated their dream catchers with bird feathers found on the ground and gemstones. Again, if you want to make your own dream catcher, these are the things that you can find out in nature to make your own. And I think it's really good that if you do that, again, rather than buy a kit offline, just go out in nature and Mother Nature will provide. Bad dreams get caught in the web, and when morning sun rays touch the web, The bad dreams get destroyed and good dreams go through the holes. It is recommended to hang the dream catcher above one's bed. Once the good dreams travel through the holes, they gently fall down through the ribbon and feathers to the mind of the dreamer. Good dreams know their way in, bad dreams get tangled and perish. So, where does the Spider Woman come in? If you look at the picture, you'll see behind her head there is a spider. Now, if you are familiar with African folk tales and folklore, you know that we have our own spider that is famous, and that would be Anansi. So let's see if Anansi and the Spider Woman for the dream catchers are anything alike. All right, so according to the myth of the Ojibwe clans, they used to live in a place called Turtle Island. Their protector goddess was Asibakashi, the spider woman. In the myth, Asibakashi helped to bring the sun deity Giziz back to the people. She built a special lodge before dawn. It was completely made of a spider web. As Hibakashi catches the sunlight, which is called gazis, into the sparkling dewdrops. The Ojibwe nations grew larger, and the Sibakashi had difficulties keeping track of everyone. So Ojibwa women, mothers, sisters, and Nokami, the grandmothers, decided to help her. They started to weave magical webs into willow loops. First dream catchers were hanged above babies' cradles. Airplane with the feathers was entertainment for the newborns. I remember, and this is me talking. I remember when we would when when my sister had her baby and my brother's girlfriend had her baby, and sometimes the babies would be asleep, and they would smile in their sleep. And my mother would say the angels were playing with the babies. That's why they were smiling. And so with the dream catchers, the air where they were hanging above the baby's cradles and the air would move the feathers, it was entertainment for the newborn. That's really cool. So the symbolism, the round symbol or the round shape of the dream catcher represents the sun goddess Giziz, again, who travels across the sky each day. The gemstone in the middle of the web is the symbol of the great spirit whose energy flows in every living being. Gemstones have become so rare that the modern day Ojibwas don't tend to use them anymore in their dream catchers. 8 knots that tighten the web into the hoop are the 8 legs of the spider woman. Sometimes feathers are added in the middle of the dream catchers. The feather symbolizes air. Owl's feather is known as the woman's feather and it stands for the keeper of wisdom. Eagle's feathers is known as the man's feather, the man's father, and it symbolizes courage. Not all Ojibwa dream catchers are round. One can also find tear shaped dream catchers. The shape of the tear symbolizes the dew that a Sibakashi has collected. How do you initiate your dream catcher? If you've heard any of my other episodes, I always tell you that whatever you make, whatever you buy that you're going to use in your spirituality, you have to energize it. You have to cleanse it and then you have to energize it. All right. So, how do you initiate your dream catcher? The writer says they are a big fan of dream catchers and they love to make them. They basically create a dream catcher from anything and they come in all shapes and sizes. The Ojibways initiated their dream catchers in a ceremony and you can do the same thing. They would light sage and let the smoke go through your dream catcher. You can cleanse your home at the same time. And while you're doing this, visualize what kind of dreams you wish your dream catcher to bring you. At the end of the ceremony, thank the Spider Woman for bringing you peaceful dreams. This is beautiful. I didn't know that. I'm definitely going to be making my own dream catcher, and I have some feathers that I have found, and I'll continue to collect feathers until I've collected enough to put on it and do the ceremony. And so I'm going to read another information. And this one is taken from the Indigenous Foundation. It's called Dream Catchers Are Not Your Aesthetic. So this one is going to talk about not appropriating the dream catchers and not using them for frivolous things, but to honor the sacredness and the spiritual essence of the dream catchers. This was written by Nudrat Karim. All right, so Again, the origins of the dream catchers. I'm going to read what they wrote and see how it differs from what I just read. Dream catchers are handmade willow hoops woven to a web or literally a net. They can include feathers and beads, and they're traditionally suspended on cradles as a form of armor and protection. Now, this one says that they were suspended on cradles for armor and protection, where at the other one that I just read said they were suspended above the baby's cradle as kind of an entertainment of the feathers for entertainment. Although the tradition began with the Ojibwe, dream catchers became widespread within the Native American communities in the 1960s and 70s as a result of a pan Indian movement. They symbolize oneness and are indicative of indigenous identity. Misuse and exploitation of the design is offensive to indigenous people and dismissive of their value to them. Again, people use these for whatever. All right, there's a story again of Abakashi, the spider woman. Let's see how it differs. Abakashi was the custodian of all Ojibwe infants and adults, and as the Ojibwe started to geographically migrate across all of North America, the task became too large for Abakashi to fulfill on her own. Thus, women were placed in charge of weaving the webs alongside placing charms meant to protect the infant. The charms would capture any harm surrounding the infant at any time. So, this one talks more about the dream catchers being more of a protection for the baby. So here's another legend. So a grandmother watched patiently each day as a spider spun his web above her sleeping place until one day her grandson noticed the spider and tried to kill it. Don't hurt him, she told the boy in a soft tone, surprising him. Grandmother, you should not protect the spider. When the grandson left, the spider thanked the woman for her protection and offered her a gift. I will spin you a web that hangs between you and the moon so that when you dream, it will snare the bad thoughts and keep them from you. At this, grandmother smiled and continued to watch the spider spin his web. Now, according to Nakota legend, while receiving a spiritual vision high on a mountain, a Lakota leader named Iktomi, a trickster who also held great wisdom. Now, this reminds me of Anansi. We know that Anansi was a trickster, but Anansi also had great wisdom. Appearing to the leader in the form of a spider, Iktomi made a hoop of willow and spun a web inside of it. He told the aged Lakota man that many forces, both bright and dark, would attempt to enter people's dreams, and that the dream catcher he was making would catch the bright forces and allow the dark ones to slip away and burn up. Iktomi instructed the old man to make dream catchers for his people so they could achieve a bright future by capturing the good dreams that are blown about by the winds of the night. As you can see in the Lakota version, dream catchers trap good dreams, just the opposite of the Ojibwe belief. So the Ojibwe believed that the dream catchers would catch the bad dreams, but allow the good dreams to slip through the holes of the net, and the Lakotas believed that the dream catchers caught the good dreams. All right. Design and the meaning of the design. We're going to talk about again. We just did it from another perspective. So, what does it mean? What is this person saying about it? So, there are small by design. They are small by design. Some elements of a dream catcher include the hoop, the web, and the feathers, while beads, gemstones, and arrowheads are more recent and modern additions to the design. So, when we look at going back to the ways of our ancestors, a lot of times they would use things that were available to them at that time. Now we have things that are more readily available to us, and some things we can't find anymore. So this is talking about they use beads, and it says gemstones and arrowheads were more recently modern additions because maybe you're able to find those things. The hoop was a circle shape or teardrop shape. It represents the circle of life. The web, patterned after a spider's web, is meant to catch bad dreams, or in the Lakota case, good dreams. The feathers are multi interpretations. The most accepted is that the feather provides a soft ladder for the good dreams to follow to the dreamer's mind. I like that. The beads. The signal beads represent the spider that wove the web. Multiple beads represent the bad dreams that have been caught. Gemstones replace the symbolism of feathers, but feathers are obtainable due to laws and restrictions. Okay, so I guess in some places you're not able to find feathers. I find feathers all the time. We have big birds and little birds that fly all over the place all the time where I live. So very often I can go outside and find a feather. Arrowheads, they increase strength and protection. Arrows point to the four corners of the earth and that are directed by the wind. All right, so the presence of dreams. In Ojibwe culture, dreams hold significant and offer insight into different purposes. For example, prophecies, names, spiritual strength, and symbolism. Dreams are often associated with messages from spirits that inform one of their deeper self and guidance for the community. Sharing and interpreting dreams is an important facet for community building and informing one of the other, sharing their own experiences and perspectives with others as a form of educating one another. Dreams often give insight into how the person has lived and how their parents have lived. One is part of the earth as the earth is part of the individual. In essence, dreams create familiarity with the unknown. So we know that in our dreams, a lot of times, depending on what you dream, it could be foretelling. Your ancestors can come to you in a dream and give you instructions. They can come to you in a dream to warn you about things. Yeah. So this says, we did not weave the web of life. We are merely a strand in it. Whatever we do to the web, we do to ourselves. Walk gently on Mother Earth. So appropriation and commercialization. Again, we're going to talk about that. The appropriation of the Dreamcatchers is believed to have begun in the 1970s, where a watered down version of the purpose of the Dreamcatchers was they are hung to catch bad dreams. There are mixed perspectives on the commercialization of Dreamcatchers, where it is either condemned for misappropriating the spiritual significance of the Dreamcatchers to indigenous people taking advantage of the circumstance and partaking in the production and selling. We know that in the Black community, especially in hoodoo, um, our spiritual materials that we use have definitely been appropriated by white people and are commercially being sold, and people are who don't seek out the knowledge of Black people for that information, and people who don't seek out the knowledge of Indigenous First people, they can get taken for a ride. In essence, when non-native people make and sell dream catchers, it is in fact cultural appropriation. However, when indigenous people choose to make and sell dream catchers, as they always have, it is not. Nevertheless, the appropriation of dream catchers exemplifies the dismissiveness of Native American culture and the borrowing of the spirituality to accommodate settlers. The dream catchers became a North American symbol of spirituality and holistic connection that is otherwise unobtainable by non native cultures. The act of creating the dream catchers is sacred and an important traditional facet of the Ojibwe and must be understood as such. While it is not forbidden to purchase a dream catcher, please make sure to support indigenous businesses. So, again, if you are going to uh, buy them from indigenous people. If you're going to make your own, which is one I suggest, I have a dream catcher. It is on my ancestral staff, um, but I'm going to make my own and infuse it with the essence of Mother Nature and my ancestors. I'm going to try to find things on my ancestral land, meaning my mom and dad's home or the church where I used to go. And if it takes me a while to make it, then it takes me a while to make it. But I do have one that I purchased, really not understanding the significance of it. I purchased it years ago, and I did not understand the appropriation of the dream catchers. I did not know that they were Native American spirituality. What Queen Mother, Lord, what is her name? Not Nina Simone. Oh my God, I can see her face. I can't remember her name. But she said, when you know better, you do better. Please, if somebody. put it in the comments what her name is. By the time you do it, I would have looked her up. But anyway, so that's it for Indigenous Heritage Month tonight. We talked about the dream catchers. If you have one, please, if you have not initiated it, if you have not cleansed it, please do so. As I said earlier, or as I read earlier, you can use sage. Of course, we can use sage to cleanse everything. And we do know that white sage is also something that is very, very sacred to the first people that settled this land. All right, so that is it for tonight. If you like it, please like, share, and subscribe. I am so close to 100 subscribers by the end of the year. I'm really trying to grow this channel so that I can continue to give information to you. Um, Speaking of dream catchers and spider webs, and I was thinking about this as I was reading. Some of you are probably too young, but some of us are at that age where we remember there were certain cartoons that came on certain times of the year. At Thanksgiving time, when we were still celebrating Thanksgiving, it used to be a cartoon that used to come on, and it was called Charlotte's Web. Charlotte's Web was about farm animals who um, the pig was about to be sacrificed, about to be slaughtered, and the animals could talk. And there was a spider named Charlotte, and in order to save the pig, whose name was Wilbur, to save his life, each day Charlotte would um, spin a word in her web about Wilbur, that he was a great pig, that he was a smart pig, that he was a beautiful pig, whatever. And so the farmers would come out and they were like, "Oh my God, this pig is something great because this spider is spinning, wonderful things about this pig." And so it just made me think of the dream catcher and how it's a web and how the good things come through that the web, and how Charlotte used the web to say good things about Wilbur. And I just kind of made that connection. If you haven't seen the cartoon, it's a really cute cartoon. Your kids should look at it with you. It's called Charlotte's Web. It's an old one. But again, that's it for tonight, people. You know the drill. Love yourself, love each other, give yourself some grace, give each other some grace. Stay cool, stay warm wherever you are. Honor your ancestors, they will honor you. We are our ancestors. Like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, people, stay black. Peace, family.